Hello Internet, welcome to another video. I thought I would make a quick update video where I talk about what's going on with me. I keep getting questions on my YouTube channel about how things are going with the car, how my life is going in general. So I thought I would make a video about it. This is the first time I've recorded in a bit. I will say that normally when I do these videos, I'm very negative, although I do have some decent good news and things that I'm optimistic about this time. So it will be a mix of talking about bad things and good things. And we're going to play Handulum because I like Handulum, and Handulum is a fun and easy game to play in the background. Maybe we'll pivot if this turns into a long video, but I doubt that it will. Anyway, and you should play Handulum. I'll try to put a link in the description because it's a free browser game and I love it. Anyway, last time we left off, I had been in a car accident. I had hit a cow with my car, which is... was a huge bummer, obviously, put us in a really difficult spot. I said it in a previous video, we had 4 cars because we're a large family, and most of them are in really bad shape. So we had a little old car that was probably about as old as I am. That was like our junker, kind of like our background car, like when things are going wrong, when my car needed to go in the shop, I would drive that one, things like that. And that car had some permanent engine damage. Basically, I took it to the grocery store one day and it wouldn't start, and then when it did start, it shuddered a lot, and we found out late, and I called my family because I was like, I don't want to drive it when it's messed up, and he said, oh, I'm gonna drive it home anyway, because the grocery store is only like like 6 minutes from my house. So he drove it home like that, all messed up. And why am I doing speed run stretch? Just get it in the hole. It doesn't really matter. Doesn't really matter. Get to the line. Oh god, I can't do it. Sorry, I also don't usually play this in full screen, so I'm a little terrible. And he drove it home anyway, despite having engine issues, and then we found out the engine had permanent damage, which was likely caused by him driving it home while it was shuddering and really bad. It was obviously having issues with it firing and stuff that really screwed up the car. So that car out of commission. Then obviously I hit a cow with my car, and that's not drivable in that state. If you saw the video about my car, it's obviously very messed up. We had an SUV, and immediately upon me driving the SUV for work, the alternator went out. And that's really not a big deal, the alternator. It's just that no one had money at the time, and things were a bit tight. So, it was just a not great thing to happen when we were relying on that car all the time. And then after that, it started squeaking really bad. I don't know what's going on with it. I'm hoping it's just a belt kind of squeaking. It doesn't seem to be any real problems. But my family did not handle this well. They were mad at me because it's like, oh, obviously it's not the 12 years that you've been driving that car. It's the 3 days that I took it to work. They're mad that, oh, because I'm driving it a lot for work, it's my fault. So that was unpleasant to have them kind of react like it's my fault, when in reality it's just a really old car that needs to be replaced. So we were down to a truck, and again, the truck is in really terrible condition. It's already, they've decided they're going to get rid of it, or at least they're entertaining the thought of getting rid of it, because it needs several $1,000s of repairs at the moment, and we really can't afford that. So we were down to just that truck that's in really bad shape, and oh boy, that was bad. I was really worried I was going to lose my job. My family at one point actually had to drive me for my job. My family member drove me all night for my job because we just did not have a vehicle, and I can't drive our truck. So I needed a family member to take me, and I felt so embarrassed, and I'm showing up at work with my family member in the car, and I just felt really, really embarrassed by that. But now the SUV's back, we're doing okay, and the insurance money has finally been resolved. So when I was in the accident, initially they quoted me, they looked at my car, and they said, well, we're probably going to give you between $300 and $1,000 based on the Blue Book value. And I looked online and was like, the Blue Book value was like $3,000. So I was like really frustrated, because insurance, everyone has been through this. Every adult has dealt with some kind of BS from their insurance, whether that's health insurance or whatever. But you pay thousands of dollars over several years, right? I've been paying insurance on this car for, I don't know, like 6 years. I've put thousands of dollars into it. And then when I'm in an accident, not only are you not going to give me the money for the car, but you're also going to go after the guy whose cow it was, because they are going to want to get paid off of this, because it's that cow owner's responsibility. So not only are you not going to give me most of that money, you're going to profit off of this, but you've also been profiting off of me for years through my insurance. So I was furious that they were only going to give as little as $300. Prior to this, we had talked about scrapping the car, and the scrapyard offered us $400 for it. So it's like, I would have got more for scrapping so I was very angry. Then they came back and they said, hey, we're going to give you, I think the total is $2,600. So when they came back with that, that was like such good news, because I've been looking for a car. I can't find anything. I've saved about $2,500. And I was like, there's just not enough. Every car I look at, the minimum price is like $3,500. So there's just no way I can afford a car right now. I was in a really tough spot. And then they came back and said, we're going to give you like $2,600. There's like a $500 deductible, which deductibles are stupid. I've been paying for years. Why is there a deductible? Why do I have to pay for it? That's why I have insurance. I'm legally required to have insurance. You should do your job. And anyway, angry at insurance. But so it comes out to be, like over $2,000 of money, and that is enough for me to get a car. So as of today, I have a check ready. I just need that insurance money to get in. It's supposed to be in tomorrow. I have secured a Taurus, which I hate Tauruses, but it's literally the only car I could find in my price range. I really wanted a Focus, but the only one I found is manual, and I can't drive manual. And I suppose I could learn, but I'm just going to get the Focus because it's a little cheaper, and that's what we desperately need, another vehicle in the house right now. So yeah, so hopefully this week I will walk away with a new car. I got my license plate from the other vehicle. Should be good to go. With tax and everything, it's going to be a bummer. It's probably going to come out to be about $3,600 for the car, which I don't honestly think it's worth that, but that's what's available, and COVID drove up used car prices. So good news on the car front and insurance front. I'm going to get the money probably tomorrow, and I should have a car by the end of the week, which is such a mega relief. As soon as I found out that the insurance company was going to give us $2,600, I felt amazing. I felt like, oh my God, finally something went right. When I hit the cow, I was like, oh, this ruins my life. Like, I'm screwed. I don't have a vehicle. I need a vehicle for work. And then when the other cars had problems, I was like, I'm going to lose my job because I can't drive for work. And then the insurance money came through, and I was like, just thank you. Like, thank you. Finally, God, something went right. Anyway, so that's the car thing. And then there have been other issues. So before the accident, so I'm in the video where I initially announced that I had a car accident, I told you that my brother was taken into custody and incarcerated. Now, long story short, my brother has been waiting to go to prison on some very serious criminal charges. He, I don't want to give details. I don't think I ever did say what he did, but it's a pretty horrible thing. And he's facing significant amount of time. My mother had looked online. She said the maximum sentence was 20 years. I looked online. The maximum sentence I found for this particular charge is 10 years. So we really don't know. And then generally people don't do maximums. So it depends on the state that you live in. In my state, there's a minimum and a maximum. So minimum is the minimum time you can serve. Plus you have to do things like take programs and whatnot and get the jail's recommendation. Most people don't get released at their minimum. And then the maximum is literally the maximum amount of time. So let's say you get 10 years and you tell them, I'm not doing your programs. I'm not doing anything you want me to do. Screw you guys. I'm just going to do my time. Well, then you're going to max out. You're going to do every single day of that sentence. And that's that. They can't hold you any longer than that, regardless of whether or not you take the treatment that they normally recommend, like drug programs and stuff like that. So we're not sure exactly what kind of time he's going to get for that. He's supposed to go and be sentenced at the end of September, so about a month from now. However, a couple weeks ago, right when last week, I guess, God, it feels like so long ago. Last week I had my car accident. That next day he was taken into custody on an unrelated DUI charge. So we were expecting they're going to hold him until he gets sentenced for the major crime at the end of next month. And that's sort of where I left you in my last update about this. And I had, the day before, I had found a car for kind of what I had in the bank, but I needed like $300 for tax and transferring the title and stuff. So I went to my family and I said, hey, I promise these are related. I said, hey, you know, found a car. It's what I need. I'm about $300 short. Can you spot me $300? And I hate asking them for money. I never ask my family for money. And they said, no. They said, right now, we just don't have the money in the bank. $300, it's too much. We don't have it. I'm sorry. And I was like, okay, you know, it sucks, but I don't like asking them for money, so it's fine. You know, they're in a tough spot too. We're all very poor. It is what it is. Well, then my brother got taken into custody, and she was saying like, oh, well, they're not going to give him bail. He has to get into a program. And then the very next day, after I made that video, she went and bailed him out. She put down $750 to bail him out for $15,000. So basically what happens with a bail bondsman, you pay a fee for the bail bondsman. That's the $750. That money's gone. She'll never get that back. And then if he does something wrong or runs or anything like that, then she's on the hook for 15 grand, which she didn't understand at the time. I was like, you know, he doesn't follow the rules. You're going to be out 15 grand. She says, oh no, it's only 750. I said, no, you will be on the hook for the full amount if he does not cooperate and follow his, because he has rules. He has like curfew and a parole officer and stuff like that while he's on bail. So she didn't fully understand that. And what really hurts is that she told me, no, I can't do $300. And then the very next day she turned around and threw away $750 on his bail. Remember, he's still expected to go to prison next month. So basically she bailed him out for about 5 weeks instead of helping me get a car that would have benefited the family for years, you know, like just really kind of hurt. And at first I was like, okay, I'm being entitled, you know, they don't owe me anything. Why? Who cares? You know, it's their money. They can do what they want. But the more I thought about it, the more I was like, you know, if I had 2 sons and one of them was, you know, getting in trouble with the law and making really bad decisions, and the other one was trying to get his life together and really needed a car, and the car thing was putting a burden on our whole family, I would give the money to the kid who needed the car. I would leave my other son who made his bed to lie in it, you know, and deal with the consequences of his actions. So I don't know. I think objectively, I have a reason to be upset. I think that it hurts. Like I'm not angry at them. It just hurt my feelings a lot that they did that. I don't know. I feel like part of it, I feel entitled. And then other times when I think about it, I'm like, no, it's totally reasonable to be upset in that situation. So I don't know. I don't know, internet. You liking this Handulum in the background? You should really play this game. Nobody plays this game. We have a speedrunning thing for it. I think I'm ranked like 10th or something like that on the speedrun.com. I'm not sure. In like 2 minutes and 20 seconds or something like that. We're going to do Play Plus. Play Plus, you have a limited number of moves to do it. So we're going to give that a shot. Anyway, so that sucks. And, you know, when he was incarcerated, I finally was able to like unlock my bedroom door and sort of rest easy at the house. And then, you know, the very next day he was back and it was clear that like nothing had changed. You know, I still couldn't sleep comfortably in my own home. I still had to watch out for him and be nervous and stuff like that. So it was a real bummer to have that kind of not resolve itself. How the heck do you do this in one? I've done it before. Maybe a little swing. No, it's too far. So yeah, that has been a difficult thing in general. I don't know how the heck you do this. Okay, we're gonna back out and do the oh no, don't exit full screen. No, now we have the ads, the ad pop-ups. Okay, let's go back. But anyway, we do have other things that I want to talk about. So anyway, all that crap aside, I should be getting a new car, a used car, here in this very week. And what I really want to do after this, because insurance money means that I'm gonna have a little bit left. I'm probably going to put down about $2,000 of the money I had saved. So I'll have, you know, $600 left in the bank or something like that. I've been saving. I haven't been spending any money on myself. I can't remember the last time I bought a new game or anything like that. So what I want to do is start my business. I've been talking about this for a long time. Anyone who's been watching the channel for a long time has known that I want to start a business. I want to get ad revenue from YouTube. I want to do other things. You know, I want to set up some merch. I want to have some t-shirts. I want to have maybe an affiliate program. Like maybe I'll shout out Skillshare every now and then and get them to, because they'll pay you. Or I use ExpressVPN. Maybe I'll throw, an ad spot at them. And because if you recruit someone, you get a free month or something like that. So it would be kind of like getting money in my pocket. But anyway, I want to do a lot of that stuff. And lately I've been looking a lot. So I listen to Gary Vee. If you're not familiar, Gary Vaynerchuk is a kind of media personality. He is a businessman. He owns his own business. I'm sure he's a millionaire at this point, if not, working his way towards $1 billion. Pretty famous dude. He does a lot of like motivational speech stuff. I don't care for motivational speeches most of the time, but he has a good foundation in business, and he's written some really good business books, which I really enjoyed. So I watch him occasionally. He has a YouTube channel and things like that. And one of the things he's constantly telling people, they're like, Gary, I need to make an extra $100 a month. How do I do that? What can I do as a side hustle to make a little extra money? And his go-to is like, go to garage sales, buy mugs, sell mugs on eBay, because it's like the easiest thing in the world. People apparently buy crap tons of mugs, so they're really easy to sell. A lot of them are fun and have themes and stuff like that. And I was like, I don't know if that works, especially when you're recommending it to like tens of thousands of people trying to do the same thing. But it got me thinking about eBay, and I was like, there is stuff, that I could sell on eBay. So I went through like all my DVDs and scanned them all to see, because I don't use my DVDs anymore. I just watch, everything digitally. And, it's a couple $100 worth of stuff in, like, even after shipping. Like, I don't mean like $100, per DVD. It's like each DVD that I pulled out was like, I don't know, 12 or 15 bucks on eBay. And, you figure out like, probably like $4 in fees. Plus you got to ship it, but it ships media mail, which is cheaper. So it's like probably like $2. There's money there, not a lot of it, but it's something. And what I really want to do in the next like 2 months is set up my business. I want to start getting ad money from YouTube, because at this point I would make like probably like $30, $40 a month from ad revenue, depending on the month and what's going on. That's just an estimate. It could be a lot less. It could be a lot more. I really don't know where exactly I fit with that. But it would be some money. And once I start bringing in some money, even if it's just selling my own crap on eBay to clear out some of the junk in my house, even if I do that, what it's going to enable me to do is buy things. Like I could buy art assets. I could buy thumbnails, go on Fiverr and spend $10 to get someone to make a professional, thumbnail for my videos so they look a little less terrible. Or like I said, I want to make t-shirts. Even if they're not, like, because I don't expect people to really buy my merch or anything, but even just one person here and there, I would like to have some cool, like, unicorn art for the channel and stuff like that. So I'm really excited about those things, even if it doesn't go anywhere. Like, I don't know if I buy eBay as, like, a viable revenue source, really. I think it requires a lot of time investment and stuff like that, and learning shipping and all that stuff I don't really care about. But I'm curious to try, and it'd give me something to do, outside of just YouTube stuff. So I'm pretty psyched for that. And of course, once I, turn on the business, I will set up a Patreon for those of you that want to donate to me directly, and try to come up with unique content specifically for people who do sub to Patreon. I've been kicking around an idea for a podcast for a long time. I just don't know anyone who would be like a co-host. I meet people on Discord that I'm like, this person would be a good fit with me, I think, to do like a podcast. But I don't know. Part of me is afraid to ask them. Like, it's weird. There's one person in particular on the Discord that I talk to pretty much on a daily basis that I think would be great, to work with and to have on the podcast. But I think they're busy a lot. And I don't know. I'm embarrassed, I guess, to ask them, because I don't even know if it's a good idea to set up a podcast or anything. I don't know. I don't know what I want to do, but I want to do stuff, and money, just like real life, money is a limiting factor in so many things. Like, it's hard to do stuff for free. For the YouTube channel, I've learned to do everything, right? Like, this video is not a good example of it because it's a, generic video where I'm just giving commentary the whole way through. But like, if you look at my experimental cataclysm videos, I've been doing editing, right? I edit things, I pan the camera over static images, I do, occasionally I'll draw an art asset or something, like my one tutorial series. I drew like a stomach in chalk and chicken legs and stuff like that to illustrate my point. And it's like I do all that stuff myself, and it really slows everything down. And it'd be just super neat to be able to pay someone else to do some of that, so I could just focus on making more stuff instead of, spending 6 hours editing a 19-minute video or whatever, So I'm just excited to try new things and do new things. I want to do more than I'm doing now. I would like to at some point get back to streaming a little bit. I haven't streamed in a long time. I don't like streaming too much. I think I prefer YouTube. I think Twitch is a terrible platform, to be honest, and I don't want to support Twitch. So if I go back to Twitch, it would be like very clearly a monetary decision, because it's a little easier to make money from subs on Twitch. But honestly, I'd rather stream on YouTube. But I would like to stream, like even just something like this. I should have just hit the live button and gone live and had people in chat while I talked about these things. I think would have been nice, I don't know. Anyway, I think I'm to the point where I'm rambling now. So in summation, the car stuff is getting resolved. As long as nothing falls through, I should have a car by the end of the week, which is just amazing that because what's really super crazy is that I had the accident. I think it was like, it wasn't last Tuesday. It was the Tuesday before, I think. And it's only been like 2 weeks. And it's bonkers to me because it feels like forever. It feels like I've been driving my family member's car forever. Everybody's mad about everything. We were waiting on insurance. Everybody's ticked off that I hit the cow. My family member, when they picked me up, the first thing they said was, "You need to quit your job," because they were frustrated that I had hit a cow while I was driving for work. And it's like, I think I literally just told them no, just no, that's not acceptable. So everyone was mad. Everything was terrible. It's stuff with my brother. It's always something, and just generally just horrible in my household recently. And now it's finally lifting that horrible burden of not having a car and not knowing what to do and feeling so pathetic and broke. Like I've been saving every penny I can and I'm not making progress. And all those feelings got me so down. And now it's finally being lifted. And I'm starting to think again about the future, about starting a business and trying to learn how to do that stuff, figuring out taxes and figuring out, areas in which to make money, things like that. It just feels good to be focusing on something constructive, because for the last 2 weeks, every day I've thought I should record for YouTube. And then I think, no, I'm miserable. I'm going to make terrible videos if I record. Every day I sat down and was like, okay, well, we can write. I should work on a novel. And then I sit down and I look at my writing and I'm like, no, I'm miserable. If I try to write right now, it's going to be a lot of miserable crap. And it's just been such a terrible couple weeks. And I've been real miserable. Been listening to the Ender's Game and Shadow series from Orson Scott Card. That's been a nice distraction. And I finally feel things are getting back to normal. So that is the takeaway message, is that I'm doing okay. I'm better today than I have been most days. And things are looking up. Oh, finally. And I'm excited for the future. And I'm excited for moving towards the business. So right now I'm feeling pretty good. Internet, I think we should wrap. I've been talking for 24 minutes, which is too long. So everybody, thank you so much for watching. Thanks for listening, as always. And I'll be back with, hopefully we'll get back to our regular schedule of programs. It's not television. We'll get back to our regularly scheduled videos, hopefully in the next, I don't know, like 7 or 8 days. So thanks so much for watching. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you next time.